welcome to the Pursuit of Healthiness podcast. I'm your host, Winanda from Delft. I'm a health and mindset coach, spaghetti and ice cream lover, travel junk, and a cat mom. I love conversations that are on a more raw and deeper level. And that is what I'm trying to do today because it's just me today. I'm going to talk about the stress that I'm experiencing lately and how I deal with it, and especially how I changed how I deal with it, because I used to turn to food whenever I felt stressed or unhappy or happy, but I've managed to change that. So I'm going to share a couple of tips today on how you can change that. Hey, hello. I thought I would do an episode just by myself because I am going through some stress, and I know that before, a couple of years ago, when I was stressed, I would always grab food. Like, my whole life was about food. When I was happy, I would grab food. When I was sad, I would turn to food. Like, everything, I was doing everything around food. So yeah, lately I am really stressed because, the pandemic, everything financial, with my cat Morty. He is really sick for the fourth time in the past year. So yeah, there's some stuff going on that I don't really talk about, but today I was like, no, I need to talk about it. And I am all about being raw, real, authentic, and having those conversations with you. So that's why I decided to do an episode alone today and talk a little bit about how I'm feeling and what I do to manage my stress and to manage my eating habits. Because, as I've said before, usually I would grab the food, but this time I'm not. I wouldn't say a pro or, a specialist when it comes to that, but I've learned to change my eating habits, to change my state of mind when it comes to being stressed and binge eating or emotional eating. And I thought it would be a great moment to share my knowledge, my experience with you guys today. So in the past, every time when I was happy or sad, mostly sad to be honest, I was really unhappy, I would always think about food. I would grab food. If I was sad, I was like, oh, I'll have a chocolate bar or ice cream, because that is kind of what they portray that you have to do in movies. You always see people eat a huge bucket of ice cream when they are sad, or indulge in chocolate and candy. And so I thought that was normal, and because I thought it was normal, I did it. But I actually became addicted to food, addicted to sugar. And I think there are a lot of people out there, maybe including you listening, who is addicted to sugar, addicted to food, but you don't know. Because a food addiction, a lot of people think it's not real. A lot of people, when you say addiction, think about smoking, think about alcohol, think about drugs. But you can be addicted to food, and I definitely was addicted to food. As I've said before, I was constantly thinking about food. If I was happy, I would eat. If I was sad, I would eat. I wouldn't think about anything else, always food. But luckily, I managed to change that, and I will come to that later, how I did it. But first, I want you to share a little bit how it made me feel, like a little bit of background. So every time when I felt sad and I had food, it would make me happy. I know it was a fake happiness, and I know it was for just a short amount of time, but it was enough for that moment. And especially because I felt really lonely when I was growing up. Of course, I had a best friend, and we would see each other every single day. But I think we were really similar when it came to that, because when we were together, we were always eating together. So yeah, I think we were not really helping each other to get out of that mindset, out of that state. But Yeah, so every time when I felt that way and I was eating, it will make me happy because of the sugars. They give you that rush, they give you that high. And at some point, your body is, it's not enough anymore. And you need to eat more to get that same high. So I was eating and eating, and at some point, it wasn't enough anymore. Even when I was feeling a painful bloat, or even when I almost threw up, I still wanted to eat because it would fuel my soul, it will fuel my happiness for that moment. And it was actually a really, really hard journey to change that. So, the things I'm going to share with you today are not overnight fixes. Like, you have to constantly be aware and mindful of everything that you do to change that habit. But first things first, you need to understand and you need to realize, or you need to accept that you have an eating disorder, or you are addicted to food or addicted to sugar. Because I didn't realize that that was something that was going on. I never thought that you could have a food addiction. I never thought that I was eating out of emotion. I've never realized that it was unhealthy to think about food all the time, that it was unhealthy to feel the way I felt, like the bloating, the bad nights of sleep, the irritation, the what did I experience more? Like I experienced so many things. Oh, maybe too much information, but I'm going to share it anyway. Like constipation, like not be able to go to poop for a week or more. And when I had to go, it was really painful and it was really hard. And I thought that was normal, to the point that it was so hard that I was bleeding out of my butt. um, but I thought it was normal because I always felt that way, and I never shared it with anyone because I thought it was normal. So all those signs, all those signals, I didn't know it was unhealthy and abnormal because no one is speaking about it. And that's the reason why I'm speaking about it today, because to create awareness around it. Because being unhealthy isn't just looking a certain way, it's not just showing from the outside. There is a lot going on from the inside that you may not realize, that no one has taught you before. So that's what I'm going to do here today. So the first thing that really made me realize that something was not normal was when I started to eat healthy. And I don't mean healthy by following a diet, because I've been on diet I have been on diets since I was a kid. So I don't mean it in that way. I meant really having a focus on the food that I was eating instead of just mindless eating. I came across Ashley Bynes. She is amazing. You should follow her. She is an Australian fitness model, but she's so much more than that. And she really helped me realize and learned how to create a healthy relationship with food and how to have a balanced lifestyle. So I was following her plan. And that's when I realized, with all the meals that I was eating, I was like, oh my God, this meal makes me feel so good, and I have energy after this meal. And I really started to notice that food had an impact on how I felt, and food had an impact on my sleep. And I was like, oh my God, like, why didn't my mom teach me about this? And I know now, because my mom doesn't know, and I think a lot of parents don't know. Maybe it has changed over time because there's so much more information out there that anybody can find a way to eat healthy for their kids and for themselves. But anyway, I started to notice changes in my body after I ate certain meals. And I was like, yes. And I started to pay attention more to that because it made me feel good and it gave me energy. So I was like, I want to feel like this more often. I don't want to feel bloated all the time. I don't want to feel like I have a stone inside my stomach because that's how it was for me. That's how I felt. So I started to pay attention to what I was eating, how it was making me feel, how it was uh, making me feel before and after that, and how my energy levels were and how my sleep was, because it changed a lot. And food really has an impact on your mood, on your sleep, on your period, on your hormones, like everything. Like food is fuel for your body. And I've had a conversation, I've had an episode about this with Elsine, to use food as fuel. So it's actually episode number 2. So go check that out if you're interested in that, because we are diving more deeper into that. So when you realize and feel that food is really fuel to your body, it's like the gas to your car. Like when you put in the wrong gas, your car is not going to run. your car is not going to be able to drive you that far. You know what I mean? So it works the same for our bodies. It's the food, the nutrition, the vitamins and minerals, and the macronutrients that are in those foods that create everything in your body. Like our body is so amazing in keeping us healthy. Well, at least it tries to keep us healthy, but it only can do as much as what it gets, if you know what I mean. Like it's like it tries the best it can with the resources that it gets. So if it your body only gets sugar and artificial sweeteners and processed foods, it's still trying its best it can, but with resources that it has. So it is not running optimally. And when you give your body the food that it really needs to run optimally, you will feel the difference. You will see the difference. So my number one tip when it comes to changing those eating habits is being mindful of what you eat and being mindful of how those foods make you feel. Because in contrary to what many people think, there is not one size fits all. Some people are gluten intolerant, some people are lactose intolerant, some people can handle dairy really well, others cannot. Other people can handle garlic really well, others cannot. So really be mindful of what foods make you feel a certain way. And for me, for example, I've noticed that I do really, really well on a low carb diet. And that doesn't mean that I have to follow a keto diet or a low carb diet. It just means that I have to be really careful and mindful of the carbs that I'm eating. And what I want to say when it comes to keto diet and low carb diet, why it works for so many people, is because those diets take out the unhealthy carbs, they take out the processed foods, they take out the breads and the pasta that are unhealthy for your body. However, I do love my pasta. Like as you know, I'm a spaghetti lover, so I changed the pasta that I'm eating. So the pasta that I'm eating is made from veggies, because these days we have that option. And I have to say, you don't taste the difference. And I make my sauce, I do it all by myself. I have my veggie pasta, and it feels good. It feels amazing. I feel amazing. But I have to share a story. I did have pasta once in a restaurant after I'm so used to having my veggie pasta. I had it in a restaurant because I was like, oh, I really crave the the old taste of pasta, what I'm used to. And I had it and I was like, oh my God, this is disgusting. It's so fat. It's so ugh, it's just disgusting. Like, it's not making me feel good. So I was like, I know I'm putting the right foods into my body. So it's sometimes you need that. You need to go off track to realize what makes you feel good, and that what you are doing is worth it, and what you are doing is really making a difference. Because I know when you are trying to eat healthier, whether that's for weight loss or just for your mood or your hormones, whatever reason you have to eat healthier, I'm not encouraging you to do it, but if you do, you will realize that what you've been doing so far is really working, is really helping. And maybe you need to fuck up sometimes. Maybe you need to fall off the wagon and have an unhealthy meal or unhealthy binge eating fast to realize that what you were doing was good. What you were doing was perfect for your body. You may not see results straight away, because that's what we're often after. We're after physical change, but we don't see that straight away. So after you've had a binge eating fast or anything else, when you are on a health journey, then yes, you will realize it really does make a difference, and it really has impact on so many more levels than you may think, and that your ultimate goal was. So another thing that I have changed in my habits, so that I'm not turning to food anymore when I'm stressed, is to be aware of my stress, if that makes sense. I've become more mindful of when I'm eating and why I am eating. I'm asking myself, like, am I really hungry at the moment, or do I just want to have a snack? Do I just want to have a quick fix? Because when we are hungry or when we are stressed, our bodies obviously are looking for a quick fix to get energy, or because when you're stressed, your energy levels are lower. So are you really hungry or just craving bad, unhealthy foods? And that really, really has helped me to overcome that binge eating, to overcome that emotional eating. Because when I feel that way, when I have a craving, I'm like, nope, Winanda, you're stressed. Or nope, Winanda, you just saw someone eat a burger and now you want it too. Or nope, you are in the same situation as you were, I don't know, a couple of years ago, and you had a good time, so you want to experience the same. So to be able to be mindful, you have to question yourself. Always question yourself. So when you're feeling hungry, ask yourself this. Like, if you have a healthy snack in your house, if you're really hungry, you are okay with that. Like, seriously, believe me, when you're hungry, you can eat everything, and you will eat that healthy snack that you had planned for. So if you are ready to eat that, you are really hungry, just take that snack, a healthy one, and drink enough water, and then see if you're still hungry. If you're still hungry, eat. But if you're like, nah, I don't want to eat a cucumber right now, or nah, I don't want to eat hummus or an apple or something, like I want pizza, then you already know, like, nope, this is a trigger. You are not actually hungry. Whatever trigger you have, it is good to find out what it is. Is it because of a situation? Is it because you are with a person? Is it because it's that time of the month? Really find out what your trigger is. And once you realize what that trigger is, you still have to be mindful. As I've said in the beginning, it is a journey. It's not a quick fix. So you have to learn this. You have to keep putting this into practice. So yeah, be aware of your emotions and your triggers. And the last thing that I do, which is really, really simple actually, is just don't have unhealthy foods in your house. Like, if I really crave something, I cannot have it unless I go to the supermarket. And that's also a great test. Like if you really want it, you go to the supermarket. And an even better rule, what we have is if you really want it, you have to walk for it. And our supermarket is a half an hour walk down the hill. So I also have to go up the hill for a half an hour. If you are prepared to do that, if you're willing to do that, then you're really craving it and you can have it. Plus, you've walked for it. That's our rule. That's what we do. But if you're not prepared for it, if you're not willing to walk for it, then you really don't want it. It's not worth it. So don't have anything unhealthy in the house. Just make sure that you are preparing your food. You are eating around the same time because your body loves a routine. If you eat around the same time, if you have healthy snacks close, so you can grab it easily, then it is so much easier to change that habit. And if you are mindful about everything, if you're mindful about your food, of your surroundings, of your emotions, then you can overcome that. Then you have control over your emotions, over your life, over your choices, instead of them having control over you. So I hope it helped you in some way, or you've learned something, or it was just a great reminder. This is just my experience. This is what has helped me, and I know is helping a lot of other women and men out there to change their healthy, or well, rather unhealthy habits to healthy ones. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me. Really, I mean it. Don't hesitate. I'm always here for you. If you need more tips, if you need more tricks, or if you have a suggestion of what you want to hear next, then please let me know and we will talk in the next episode. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you need more guidance, support, or tips, please don't hesitate to contact me or go to my website www.pursuitofhealthiness.com or reach out to me on Instagram at Winanda_pursuit_of_healthiness or on TikTok, on Facebook. Like, I'm basically everywhere. Just click the link in my bio and I'm there. You can find me everywhere. I hope you will be here next time.